Hello everyone. In today's video, I want to share a little experiment that I did 3 years back. I know it's late, but I had relocated to another country and it was very difficult to find the time to put this all together. My goal was to bypass the long aquarium cycle period for a saltwater system, which can last anywhere from 6 weeks to a few months. The task was to set up a small volume tank with a small 95 gallon per hour power head, a 50 watt heater, a 30 watt LED light, and an internal filter just for added circulation. No media. I found a 2.5 gallon glass bowl from HomeSense and I began the setup with a large amount of dry rock, a large ball of Chaetomorpha macroalgae, and organic fish fertilizer to start the cycle with. I figured, since this fertilizer is already broken down and fermented, that the nitrifying bacteria don't have to allocate a majority of their energy to break down solids, like when ghost feeding a tank, but instead put most of the energy towards multiplying and colonizing dry rocks. In a matter of 2 weeks, the tank showed 0 ammonia, 8 ppm of nitrates, and the dreaded brown diatom algae was barely noticeable. I then introduced a colony of Palathos and pulsing zinnia in the 3rd week. On the 4th week, I added a small colony of pipe organ coral, green star polyps, a Florida Ricordia, a lavender rhodactis, and purple discosoma. Every night, I would oxygenate the tank via a Venturi system to give more oxygen to the aerobic bacteria. On the 5th week, I added 4 red discosoma and a Duncan coral. On week 6, I added a frag of purple pallies, some zoanthids, and blue cloves. Contrary to what most hobbyists experience, the cloves did not become invasive, but instead, they melted away. But the good news, the red discosoma corals multiplied from 4 to 11 individuals. Week 7 came and I added 2 hermit crabs, a colony of pallies that the LFS called nuclear green pallies, which I think are just really common green button pallies. Week 8, and I added papaya cloves and yellow pallies. In a short amount of time, the papayas grew a lot. At the 9th week, I added a red bubble-tipped anemone. However, it did not do well and started to discolor after its 3rd week of being introduced. It then split into 2 overnight, which is a sign of stress and as a survival mechanism. But finally, it also melted away. On week 10, someone from my Facebook coral group gave me a frag of neon green Kenya tree, which expanded nicely in 5 days. On a side note, look at the size of this green pally. Since there was such a large volume of rocks, the bacteria had so much surface area to multiply on. The large bowl of Chaetomorpha, which I had to trim every week, also helped transport out nutrients. I believe this made it possible for me to stock the bowl quickly with hardy, soft corals. The bowl lasted for 2 years with everything thriving, except for a few casualties that just couldn't survive the small water volume, inadequate lighting, and flow. So, what do you all think? Is fish fertilizer a good alternative to using 100% commercial ammonia? And is there any validity to the thought that the emulsified fish parts help the beneficial bacteria use the majority of their energy to multiply instead of breaking down solids into usable nutrition? Or were there other factors that help the tank stabilize really quickly? Please let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.